Fat Karen stomped into the courtroom like she owned the entire building. Her heels clacked against the floor loud enough to make the audience turn their heads. She was already furious, chest heaving, jaw clenched, purse swinging like a weapon. She muttered under her breath about how ridiculous this was, how incompetent people were wasting her time, and how she would show Judge Judy who's actually rude. Her opponent, a slim man in his 40s named Jard, sat quietly at his table, shoulders hunched and eyes tired, like someone who had been through months of chaos. He avoided eye contact with her, and that only made her angrier. "Look at him," Karen snapped to the bailiff as though he cared. "He won't even look at me because he knows he's a liar." The bailiff didn't even blink. The audience already sensed the tension. Karen's energy filled the room like static. Then the door opened. Judge Judy walked in with her usual calm, razor-sharp presence. The courtroom rose, then sat, and Karen immediately crossed her arms with a huff. Judy noticed. She always noticed. "Good morning," Judy said, looking down at the papers. "We're here regarding a dispute over destroyed property and harassment." Karen cut in instantly. Destroyed property, he's lying, he's been lying since day one." Judy's eyes lifted slowly, the kind of slow that warns someone they've taken their first step onto thin ice. "Miss Karen, is it?" Judy asked. Karen nodded proudly, as though being known in court was some kind of achievement. "Did I ask you to speak yet?" Judy asked. The courtroom went still. Karen smirked and waved her hand. "Oh please, Your Honor, I'm just clarifying." "Don't please me," Judy snapped, her voice sharp enough to slice stone. "You speak when spoken to, understood?" Karen's face reddened and she clenched her jaw. The audience chuckled softly. Jard exhaled a breath he'd been holding for months. Judy turned to him. "You're the plaintiff, tell me what happened." Jard looked down for a moment, gathering himself. "Your Honor, she destroyed my car. She keyed it, slashed the tires, then called my work and told them I was scamming customers. I nearly lost my job." Karen exploded before he finished. "I was protecting the community." Judy slammed her pen down. "Stop talking." Karen froze. "Unless I ask you a question," Judy continued, "keep your mouth shut." Karen muttered something under her breath. It wasn't quiet enough. "What was that?" Judy asked. "I said you don't have to be so rude," Karen spat. The audience gasped, even the bailiff's eyebrows lifted. Judy leaned forward with a stare that could end careers. "Rude," she repeated. "You think I'm rude?" Karen lifted her chin confidently. "Well, yes, you don't need to talk to me like I'm stupid." "Then stop acting like it," Judy shot back instantly. The courtroom erupted in muffled laughter. Karen's face went beet red. "Your Honor," she shouted, "I pay taxes, I pay your salary." Judy blinked once, slowly. "You pay my salary," Judy repeated. "Do you also pay for the electricity, the roof, the bailiff's dental plan? Please keep telling me what you think you pay for. I'd love to hear this fantasy." Karen stammered. Well, someone has to, right?" "Not you," Judy said dryly. "Trust me." Karen pressed her lips into a thin line, humiliated. "Now," Judy said, turning to Jard, "continue." Jard nodded. "Your Honor, she started harassing me because she thought I parked too close to her driveway, but I never did. I have photos, videos, witnesses." Karen threw her hands up. "Oh, spare me, everyone knows pictures can be edited." Judy shot her a glare so sharp it made Karen snap her mouth shut. Jard continued, voice shaking slightly. "She keyed 'park better, loser' into my car door, then she keyed 'fat liar' across the trunk. She even carved a smiley face into the hood." Karen shrugged. "It was constructive criticism." "You call that criticism?" Judy asked. "I call it honesty," Karen said proudly. Judy stared at her. "Well, here's some honesty for you. You're digging yourself so deep I could plant a tree in that hole." The room laughed again. Karen slammed her hands on the table. "This is ridiculous, he's acting like such a fragile little flower." Jard flinched. He wasn't fragile, he was exhausted. Judy noticed. "Miss Karen," she said, "destroying someone's property is a crime, harassment is a crime, and slashing his tires, that's another crime." Karen rolled her eyes. "Oh please, they were old anyway." Judy leaned forward slowly. "Let me ask you a question, Miss Karen," she said. "Why did you assume his business was scamming customers?" Karen sat up straighter, as if she had been waiting for this moment. Well, obviously, because he works from home, she said loudly. Everyone knows people who work from home are probably doing something shady. Real professionals go to offices. Half the audience looked offended. Judy's face went blank. You think remote workers are criminals? She asked. Karen shrugged again. Most of them, yes, it's common sense. Judy nodded. Common sense according to who? According to me. Judy closed her folder. There it was. The arrogance. The entitlement. The delusion. The reason they were all here. Miss Karen, Judy said, we have witnesses and security footage. Karen blinked rapidly. Footage? What footage? Jard lifted a USB. My neighbor has cameras, he said. They caught everything. Karen paled. Her voice stuttered. WL people misinterpret things, camera angles distort. Judy cut in. Miss Karen, unless the camera somehow forced you to crawl across his car with a key in your hand, I don't think the angle matters. The courtroom snickered. Karen's jaw dropped. That's not even I was doing a public service. Judy folded her hands. Show me the footage, she told the bailiff. The bailiff plugged it in. The screen lit up. Karen watched herself appear on the recording, storming up to Jard's car, furiously keying the door, carving into the paint like she was buttering toast. The courtroom gasped. Karen swallowed hard. Okay, that looks bad. Looks bad, Judy repeated. It is bad. Karen's voice trembled, but he parked too close. Miss Karen, Judy said sharply, the footage shows his car 6 feet away from your driveway. 6 feet is close, Karen snapped. 6 feet, Judy replied, is a social distance rule, not a driveway rule. The room laughed again. Karen looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. Judy tapped her pen. So far, I count vandalism, harassment, defamation, and what seems to be a personal vendetta based on absolutely nothing. Karen tried to compose herself. I only did all that because he was being rude first. Judy raised an eyebrow. How? Karen struggled. He smiled at me. Judy paused. You vandalized his car because he smiled. Karen nodded confidently. Exactly. Judy leaned back. I see, so if I smile at you right now, will you key my car too? Karen blinked, realizing the trap. Well, obviously not. Why? Because mine is nicer, Judy said. The courtroom howled. Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. And, Judy continued, according to the police report, you also called his job pretending to be a customer who caught him stealing money. Karen lifted her chin. Yes, because I wanted to warn them. Warn them, Judy repeated. Miss Karen, you've crossed from ridiculous into dangerous. Karen snapped. Well, maybe if he wasn't so rude. Judy slammed her pen again. You accused me of being rude when this case began. Now I see where that came from. Karen clenched her fists. You are rude. Judy leaned forward like a lion eyeing prey. I'm not rude, she said. I'm direct, and right now I'm directly telling you you're in trouble. Karen scoffed. Oh please, what can you even do? Fine me. Judy smirked. Oh, much more than that. Karen flinched. The audience leaned in. Jard held his breath. Judy continued softly, the dangerous kind of soft. Let me ask you something, Miss Karen. Do you have any proof that he was ever rude, ever disrespectful, ever did anything to you at all? Karen blinked rapidly. No, she whispered. Then why did you do all this? Judy asked. Karen swallowed hard. Because I don't like being ignored. Judy shut the folder. There it was. The truth. Ugly. Pathetic. Self-damaging. Well, Judy said calmly, you won't be ignored today. Karen managed a small, hopeful smile. You're about to get more attention than you ever wanted. Karen's smile fell. Jard almost smiled for the first time in months. Judy leaned back. Miss Karen, based on the footage, witnesses, police report, and your own admission. Karen tensed. I'm awarding the plaintiff full damages. Karen gasped, how much? Judy didn't blink. $20,000. Karen's scream echoed through the courtroom like a wounded animal. This is unfair, she cried. This is biased. This is rudeness. No, Judy said, this is reality. Karen froze. And it just hit you, Judy added. Hard. Karen collapsed into her seat, defeated. Jard wiped tears from his eyes, not of sadness but relief. The audience exhaled in one collective breath. And that was only the beginning. Karen sat frozen, her mouth hanging open as the number echoed in her head like thunder. $20,000. It hit her like a brick wall. Her arms dropped limp at her sides. Her lips trembled. The courtroom watched her unravel in real time. Jard looked down at his hands, realizing what this moment meant. It meant he could finally fix his car, replace what he lost, and reclaim the piece she had stolen from him. But Karen wasn't done. Oh no. Her ego couldn't let it end. Her pride couldn't accept defeat. Her entitlement couldn't survive humiliation. She snapped upright suddenly, the chair screeching beneath her. "This is a scam," she shrieked, pointing at Jard. "He tricked you, he's manipulating you." Judy didn't even flinch. "Miss Karen," she said calmly, "your behavior right now is exactly why I made my decision." Karen shook her head violently. "No, no, no, you don't understand. He's been doing this to me for months. He moved into my neighborhood just to cause chaos. Judy raised her hand. "Stop." Karen kept talking. "And he pretends to be all innocent, but he's a liar and a fraud and—" "I said stop." Judy's voice cut through the room like a blade. Karen stopped mid-rant. Judy continued, "You accused him of stealing, vandalized his property, harassed him, and now you expect sympathy." Karen's voice cracked. "I just want justice." "This is justice," Judy said. Karen staggered back like the words physically hit her. "You can't do this," she cried. "You can't just ruin my life." Judy leaned forward, her voice icy calm. "I didn't ruin your life, you did." The room went silent. Jard looked at Karen with a mixture of pity and disbelief. Karen turned on him instantly. "Don't you dare look at me like that, you're the reason I'm here." Jard shook his head softly. "No, Karen, you dragged yourself here." The audience murmured. Karen lunged toward him. The bailiff stepped in, blocking her path without saying a word. Karen's face twisted with rage, but she took a step back, realizing she couldn't push this man like she pushed her neighbors. Judy spoke again. "Miss Karen, you didn't come here for justice, you came here expecting validation." Karen blinked rapidly, stunned. Judy continued, "You thought I would side with you because you're loud, demanding, and always convinced you're right, but that's not how law works." Karen's voice wavered, "But I said he parked too close." Judy lifted a brow. 6 feet. "It felt close," Karen snapped. Judy tapped her pen. "Feelings don't rewrite reality." Karen clenched her fists, breathing hard. "And another thing," Judy added, "you said earlier that I'm rude." Karen opened her mouth to deny it, but Judy raised a finger. "No need, you said it proudly." Karen's face reddened again. Judy went on, "What you call rudeness is actually accountability. When you're used to getting away with everything, the moment someone holds you responsible, you think they're the problem." Karen froze. Because for a moment, a split second, the truth stunned even her. Judy continued, "People like you don't see yourselves clearly, you only see what you want, but cameras don't lie, witnesses don't lie, evidence doesn't lie." She leaned forward. "And today your lies finally caught up." Karen's lips trembled again, but instead of anger, something else flickered in her eyes. Fear. Real fear. Because she realized she wasn't dealing with a neighbor she could bully, or a manager she could yell at, or a customer service rep she could intimidate. She was dealing with someone who couldn't be bent. Someone who didn't care about her theatrics. Someone who saw through her. "Judy." Karen swallowed hard. "I can't pay that." Judy shrugged. "Then you'll face the consequences of not paying." "But—" "No buts," Judy's voice sharpened. "Actions have consequences, something I suspect you've avoided learning your entire life." Karen's lower lip quivered. She wasn't angry anymore. Not loud. Not arrogant. Just scared. But then something eerie happened. A shift. A realization. A kind of karma that felt like cold air settling over the courtroom. Karen's phone buzzed in her purse. Then buzzed again. And again. She frowned and pulled it out. Her eyes widened. "Oh no," she whispered. Judy watched with curiosity. "Everything all right, Miss Karen?" Karen looked pale. "I am getting emails." "About what?" Judy asked. Corinne swallowed. About my job. Jard looked confused. The audience leaned closer. What about your job? Judy pressed. Corinne's hands trembled around her phone. They suspended me, she said with a quivering voice. Someone sent my boss the footage of me keying the car. The room gasped. Footage, Judy repeated. Corinne nodded slowly, as if in a daze. Yes, the same footage from this case, someone sent it already. Jard looked shocked. I didn't send anything. Judy studied Corinne, then who did? Corinne scrolled frantically. Her breath quickened. Her eyes filled with dread. Oh my God, she whispered. My HOA president posted the video publicly. It's going viral. There it was. Karma. Swift. Sharp. Unforgiving. Just like she had been to others. Corinne's hands shook uncontrollably now. There are thousands of comments, people calling me a menace, a danger, a bully. Judy didn't speak, she simply watched justice unfold without lifting a finger. Corinne continued reading, horrified. They're tagging my workplace, my neighbors, even my family. Her voice cracked. My mom saw it. Judy sighed. That's what happens when you treat people terribly. Eventually, everyone sees who you really are. Corinne's legs wobbled. She sat down slowly, as though suddenly aged, drained, deflated. I didn't mean for it to get this bad, she whispered. Jard looked at her not with triumph but with a strange sadness. You made it this bad, he said gently. I just wanted to be left alone. Corinne covered her face with her hands and began to cry softly. Real tears. Not performative. Not dramatic. Just broken. But the courtroom didn't pity her, because everyone knew. These weren't tears of injustice. They were tears of consequence. Judy spoke one final time. Miss Corinne, today you learned something important. Some people think karma is mystical, magical, or slow, but sometimes karma is simply the world watching you and finally refusing to look away. Corinne sobbed harder. Judy continued, this court awards the plaintiff $20,000, case dismissed. She stood. The audience rose. Corinne didn't move. Jard packed his papers silently. As he walked past Corinne, he paused. She didn't look up. But he spoke anyway. I never wanted to ruin your life, I just wanted you to stop ruining mine. Corinne didn't respond. She couldn't. The bailiff opened the door. People slowly filed out. Judy walked past Corinne without a word. But Corinne felt the presence, the weight of truth settling around her like cold smoke. For the first time in her life, she wasn't the loudest. She wasn't the strongest. She wasn't the one in control. She was just someone who finally faced herself. And the eerie part. It didn't end in that courtroom. Because outside, as she left the courthouse under a gray sky, people recognized her from the viral video. Whispers followed her, phones lifted, screens recorded. She covered her face, but karma has a way of finding people. That night, her HOA removed her from the board. Her job placed her under review. Her neighbors stopped responding to her messages. Her phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications she didn't want to read. And as she sat alone in her dark living room, she finally understood. Karma doesn't always wait. Sometimes it arrives early. Sometimes it arrives loudly. And sometimes it arrives with a $20,000 reality check. And that was exactly what Corinne got. A brutal one. If you want, I can now give you